So I don't know if you know this, but Thomas Lane, one of the 4 officers who was responsible for George Floyd's death, this guy right here, yeah, he was just released from jail. And you're probably wondering how he even managed to pull this off in the first place, but long story short, his family set up a crowdfunding campaign in which a bunch of people came together and raised $750,000. All because they felt that that number, that bail number, was too high and unfair. And it's crazy to me because a lot of you don't know this, but there's a guy under the name of Willie Simmons, an Army veteran in Alabama who is currently serving life in prison, 38 years of which he has already served just for stealing $9. Goes to show you the type of country that we live in. Meanwhile, a bunch of people came together to support this man who contributed to the death of an innocent man in broad daylight in front of everyone. But it's whatever, because this man is gonna have to serve the rest of his life in hiding. He's gonna have an extremely hard time getting a job, and his kids are gonna have to grow up knowing their dad was a piece of shit.
I did not come here to speak, but after hearing what Karen here behind me said, I needed to speak up. She's upset because her officer husband is being cussed at and supposedly followed and spit on, but I just want to point out that people who are black have had to endure all of that and brutality at the hands of the people who are supposed to protect them for over 400 years, which is why we are here to protest in the first place. So I am sorry that in the last 10 days you have felt just a little bit uncomfy, but I hope that you can understand that you've now had a fraction of a taste of it. And if you've got any empathy in that little blue heart of yours, then I suggest that you start looking at this from the other side, the morally, legally, and ethically correct side. It is not a blue life, it is a fucking blue shirt. Another Karen earlier said if someone broke the law, then they should be arrested. Okay, so then let's arrest the police who said screw everything that they learned in their supposed max of 6 months of training, and let's arrest the police who turned
held up the Bible the other day in Washington, D.C. Here in New York, we actually read the Bible. As I walk through the valley of the
Black people, I'm gonna need you to stop. Stop putting up with being beaten. Stop putting up with being killed. Stop putting up with being discriminated against. Stop putting up with making lower wages. Just stop. Oh. Looks like you are. Bitch, what took you so long?
I'm about to show you a video from a protest yesterday. If you see this and you still are confused on why people are protesting, rioting, showing signs of violence, actually burning stuff down, then you are part of the problem. Not saying I'm about to go riot, but if my brothers want to riot, I'm not mad at them, and I'm about to show you why I'm not.
Y'all talking about being, what about, I thought it was a peaceful protest. I thought y'all worried about a peaceful protest.
Two people were in the exact same place at the exact same time, doing the exact same thing, not committing a crime. One of them was pushed away and sent home. The other was arrested. If you want to go riot, I'm not mad at you. I'm not.
You say you want to make America great again, but we all know what that really means. You know, ban Muslims, Mexicans are rapists, Black lives don't matter. Make America great again? I think you want to make America white again. So, I come here.
We shackled like slaves now.
You ain't get nobody else either, so I don't care.
Well, this guy here, this is Ted Bundy. These are some of his victims. This guy here, that's John Wayne Gacy. Here's just, a few of his victims. Say hi to Dean Corll. And again, just a few of his victims. America's first serial killer, H.H. Holmes. His victims had to be drawn because, not enough photography back then. How about David Berkowitz here? Here's some of his victims. So with all these white people who are killing a lot of white people, you're still gonna come talking to me about black on black crime? Shut up.
Both these men were killed by cops. One on the back of his neck for 9 minutes. The other one on the back of his neck for 14 minutes. This one started riots. We're blowing things up and catching things on fire. This one never talked about. What's that all about? Why didn't we riot for this man, but we're rioting for this man? I don't understand. Can somebody please explain to me?
One was racially profiled. One was just an accident. One, looting and rioting is not just because of George Floyd. One, that's just because y'all didn't want to get up and look for justice because justice was served right then and there. One, the officer would have never got charged for George Floyd's death if it wasn't recorded. One, that officer got charged right then and there. So don't judge those two things on not getting justice and on getting justice. And trust me, we got a lot more justice that we need to get. It ain't over.
Did you know that if a black person goes to the doctor, they don't get the same level of care as a white person? I'm Dr. Leslie, and this week I'm talking about racism as a public health crisis. Each illness, like heart failure or pneumonia, has a standard treatment. This is the treatment that's most likely to work. But studies have shown that black folks aren't even offered those treatments the same way and as frequently as white folks are. Also, if black folks go to the ER, they're much less likely than white folks to get their pain adequately controlled.
It's wrong to do it in the streets. It's wrong to do it in the tweets. You cannot do it on the field. You cannot do it if you've kneeled. And don't do it if you're rich, you ungrateful son of a bitch. Because there's one thing that's a fact. You cannot protest if you're black.
To all the people who be like, if black people don't like it here, then just go back home to Africa. Well, Ghana, Africa is actually sending us an invitation to come back home. All African Americans, they're sending us to come back home.
In the wake of George Floyd's death,
we continue to open our arms and invite all our brothers and sisters home. Ghana is your home. Africa is your home.
Ghana recently unveiled a monument to Floyd and is openly calling for black Americans to move.
So you mean to tell me we can leave this ghetto country where no one likes the president and there's tons of racism and black people are getting killed to go back to our, where we're originally from with our cousins? We would gladly go back to Africa. You think you're doing something by telling us to go back home? That's what we want to do. And our cousins is already welcoming us. At this point, who want to pack their bags? It's time to go.
Of course. But, you know, what about some of the people who say that the riots and the looting are overshadowing the overall message that people are trying to
the white mobs came and rioted in Tulsa and did the same shit. Oh, excuse my language, but I'm just saying, like, what's the difference? The government gave $1,200 to people to survive on in March. What you thought was going to happen? You took summer youth away from the youth. What you thought was going to happen? They need jobs. Feed our babies and we wouldn't have this problem.
So you think a lot of this is born out of frustration?
Yes, they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And this is what sick and tired looks like. Unfortunately, these are multi-billion-dollar corporations that got insurance. So, no offense, but they'll be all right.
What about some of the mom and pop stores on Fordham Road that are owned by people of color?
Define owned by people of color because the banks actually run those businesses. So they could be a mom and pop store, but there's probably someone else that is not of their color funding their business.
Some people will go, are black men a endangered species? No, black men are not endangered species because endangered species are protected by the law. We are not. You know? Wow. Yeah.
Hey God, it's Satan. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. I know you're, but hear me out. I just have a quick bone to pick with you. Okay, so I was on Earth the other day, which, by the way, I love what you've done with the place. Yeah, this is like Old Testament you. I'm obsessed. Okay. Well, hold on one second, please. Guys, I'm on the phone with God. Keep it down. Oh, sorry, the screaming. Okay, anyway, as I was saying, I was just noticing on my little stroll, some of your followers are racist. Yeah, and that's like my thing. We talked about this. Like that, how are they worshiping you and then they're, like, can they pick a side? I know you didn't explicitly say Jesus isn't white in the Bible. I thought you should have, but anyway, can like Gabriel go down there and like fix this? Because I just want them to be like on my side if they're going to be racist, you know? I don't want them to get...
I just want to ask you a quick question. You know, you're still out here in violation of the curfew. Yeah, why are you still marching?
Because I matter. My family matter. My friends and fans matter. I got nephews. I got nieces. I got sisters. I got a mama. I got a daddy. I got friends. I got peers. I got all these people standing right here. They fucking matter. Their lives matter. Nobody gives a fuck about us. Okay? Unless we get violent. Y'all care about all this shit being burned down? But what about when the KKK burned our shit down? Where were y'all then?
There's a lot of passion.
Why were y'all complaining that then? Because they fucked our whole nation up. They fucked up generations of kids.
So you can hear the passion.
Kids.
You can hear the passion in her voice.
We stand for the people who can't speak for themselves. We stand for the ones who've been knocked down. The ones who can't stand up no more because they don't have a voice anymore.
You should be ashamed of yourself for being so
you should be. How much candy is that there? How much is all that?
Yes, I want to see.
I'm buying it all.
Fine, I want to see.
I'm buying it all. I am going to buy it all. I'm going to give it away to all these people.
Go ahead.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
I am not ashamed of myself. I'm standing
Yeah,
up for this young person.
Yeah, you're really standing up for them, yelling at them.
Oh, and they take them all around the country, and you should see how they live.
Yeah.
So
They're doing fine. Yeah, I'm the ignorant person here. Do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want.
How dare you call me a
All of these
racist?
right
You have
here.
no idea.
All of these are 74. All of these 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 10, 15, 20.
I'm gonna come out right now and get your cash.
Oh, right.
Just to let you guys know, there's a white guy in the Black Panthers. So join the Black Panthers.
Arrested in Lawrence County. Within minutes, people start equating that to what happened in Minnesota. Shortly after Sebastian Erzadon is arrested, officers give the double murder suspect water and begin dressing his wounds. Within minutes, social media erupts with images like this one, showcasing the different police treatment for the suspect in Tennessee versus George Floyd, the suspect in Minnesota. Even celebrities like Snoop Dogg weighed in, writing, "Would you like a steak with your water after you killed 2 people?" Lawrenceburg Police Chief Terry Beecham, a lawman for 46 years, tells me he's appalled by what happened in Minnesota.
I can breathe. That man is in your custody. You have a moral and a legal obligation to protect him just like you would anybody else.
And he's shocked by the social media reaction to the arrest of their double murder suspect.
Sorry, sir, we're speaking on the air. Go to the front and do that shit. Don't have it on everybody else. And so, what you've got here... Go to the front! Go to the front! Go to the front! All right. Do not go to the front. I understand.
So when they say, why do you burn down the community? Why do you burn down your own neighborhood? It's not ours. We don't own anything. We don't own anything. Trevor Noah said it so beautifully last night. There's a social contract that we all have. That if you steal or if I steal, then the person who is the authority comes in and they fix the situation. But the person who fixes the situation is killing us. So the social contract is broken. And if the social contract is broken, why the fuck do I give a shit about burning the fucking Football Hall of Fame, about burning a fucking Target? You broke the contract when you killed us in the streets and didn't give a fuck. You broke the contract when for 400 years we played your game and built your wealth. You broke the contract when we built our wealth again on our own, our bootstraps in Tulsa, and you dropped bombs on us. When we built it in Rosewood and you came in and you slaughtered us. You broke the contract, so fuck your Target. Fuck your Hall of Fame. As far as I'm concerned, they can burn this bitch to the ground.
A black man was found hanging from a tree in Palmdale, California by the name of Robert Fuller, and they're trying to market as suicide, y'all. I need help with spreading this story and getting it out as much as we can so we can get him the justice that he deserves. He did not kill himself. Say his fucking name.
And let me be very clear about one thing. They are lying on purpose. They are saying they're suicides because they know that if black people find out that people are really legitimately getting hung by racist white people in America again, we are going to tear this bitch
Tear that
apart.
bitch up.
And I'm full.
I'm about to piss every white person off on this app right now. Oh shit, here we go. I just saw a TikTok that said, what if white people didn't exist? And then I remembered, we aren't supposed to exist. Being white is a genetic mutation. We don't exist naturally. White people literally come from when Pangea was a thing, and then we split up into different continents, and then people moved further away from the equator and bred lighter and lighter skinned people and even albinos until white people were created. So people that are white have the audacity to be like, we're the Aryan race, we're the supreme race. Baby. How can you be the supreme race when you weren't even a race to begin with? You can't be superior. If you were never supposed to exist.